Hi and welcome again to this new video on the HCBP channel, your HR source if you're an SME, an HR department of one, or you just started your career with HR. Now I'm very excited about today's video because for the first time since we started the channel we're going to be having Q&A. Yes, I waited this long because I didn't have enough questions. In fact, I received 3 questions that we'll be discussing in today's video. And these are fairly important questions, so without further ado, let's dig in. Now the first question I received about 3 weeks ago was from FB, who is a senior executive in a small organization. And FB asked me a question about his visa. He said that he's a European national who is eligible to get a visa on arrival to the UAE, and he currently left his former employer to join a new employer. And in the transition, he was asking if it would be okay for him to work with his new employer, who doesn't seem to mind actually him working in the transitional period before his visa gets issued. And he was asking if he can actually, in the worst case scenario, if his grace period has ended, if he can leave the country and come back on a visit visa and work on a visit visa. Now, just to be very clear, this is illegal in the UAE. And unfortunately, if you're unlucky enough for the labor office to come and conduct an investigation in your organization, you will be in trouble, they will be in trouble. So such practice is not encouraged. Always be safe. Don't work with anyone unless you have your employment visa with you. And if you're inside the country and you need to amend your status, it's also illegal to work before you amend your status, at least. Yeah. It's always better to wait until the residence visa is stamped on your passport, but at least until you get a visa amendment, it's not advisable for you to start working with any employer. And for the employers out there, even specifically small or medium-sized organizations that don't have that much of a legal exposure or legal expertise on board, please guys understand that this is illegal and you're at risk. You never know when you might have a labor inspection. You have nothing to lose to abide by the law. The laws are there for a reason and you don't want to break the law. So make sure that you're legal, that your people are legal before you start working together. Yeah? Ignorance is not a valid reason. If you say, I didn't know, you would still get fined. And these fines are usually very heavy. So be careful. The second question is from MR. MR is from a medium-sized organization and he's a middle manager. MR shared that they recently did a restructure in his organization, and as a result of this restructure his role significantly changed. Now he was asking what should he do, because he doesn't believe that this is the best role for him or this is where he can add most value. And when I discussed with MR a bit his career aspirations, it turned out that actually his new proposed role is not that far away from his career aspirations. Now, when we talked about this, MR said that, yeah, he wouldn't disagree, but at this point in time, he believes that he belongs where he is right now, and that he might do this new role in about 2 years' time. Now, here's my take on this. This is typical uncomfortable person who's been stretched out of his comfort zone. It's human nature. We're all like that, except the very few lucky who are very change agile. But for the rest of us, it's very hard to leave your old habits and your comfort zone and try something new. So what I would advise anyone who's having a similar situation, embrace the change. Get the best out of it. You never know. This move could be something that you will see a lot of value in. There's nothing you do when you're in your career that has no benefit. Even the most negative bits, you learn at least what not to do or what you're not good at or what you need to develop. So there's always something to learn. Just going out there and saying, no, this is not my thing, I don't recommend it. You still have the right to voice your concerns to your management, and I do encourage you to do that. However, show that you're cooperative. Show that you're going to try to make this work, but you're just giving them heads up that this is not where you see you add most value. You never know. At the end of the day, it might work out to your very best interest, and you might find it very interesting and get engaged with it more than your old job. But just be aware of how you come across. You don't want to be foreseen as somebody who's resisting change. You have your right to have your concerns, but again, organizations, specifically small, medium-sized organizations, they don't have the leverage that larger organizations have to performance manage and coach people. So in this setting, I wouldn't recommend that you go out vocally and say, no, I'm not playing game. You play a game, you see how it goes, you give heads up, and then based on how things go, you take it from there. I wish you all the best in this career move, but I'm very positive based on what the interaction that we had, that there's something good in this for you, and you just need to focus on that good aspect and not what you think might be or might not be good for you at this point in time. Moving on to the third question, I have a question from AM, who is a senior executive as well from a small organization. And AM asked a question about retention. She's having issues with retention of her team, and she is not very sure why this is happening. But at least she conducted a staff satisfaction survey recently, and the results came not very bright as a result of this survey. And this is a very broad topic, actually. The reason why there is attrition and dissatisfaction with between employees could be for many reasons. I didn't get enough details yet on the survey, but what I would say is that go back to the survey and look at the questions that scored the least. And this is typically, it doesn't mean it's the case for you. You need to go back to your survey and look at what exactly happened. Typically, it's either to do with staff engagement, or it has to do with career progression and career development, or it has to do with work conditions. So it can be any of these three. So if it's career progression, for example, you might want to start looking at where people are, how long they've been there, what is their potential, what are some of the next career moves possible for these guys, and do you have that planned out? How will your organization look like in the future, and how you can plot these people in and leverage them. So this is one aspect. Now, if it's linked to the culture and the sense of people that they don't feel that there is a culture, they don't belong, you might want to look at your welfare calendar. You might want to look at the behaviors you have at the workplace. How do people behave with each other? How do you behave with your team? Because your team will be mirroring what they see from you. And if you want a better culture for them, then you need to live that culture yourself. Otherwise, the culture won't fix itself. So again, this is something for you to look at. If it has to do with working conditions, then where's the issue? Is it long working hours? Is it working while the people are on leave? Is it people are burned out? Is it the work is not interesting enough? Is it the way people deal with each other, communication? What is it? You need to point out what the exact issue is in order to be able to solve it. Otherwise, it's like blowing in a torn balloon. You'll never get your hands on something. So actually, in order for you to be able to remedy the situation, you need to look deeper into the engagement survey that you have conducted. This is an excellent first step, and I congratulate you for that. But now it's time to take things further to the next step and see what are the elements that need tweaking and give them the dedication and the attention they deserve, actually, because these don't usually tend to fix themselves. And hopefully this will help you have better staff engagement in the future. So that's it, guys. I hope you found this beneficial. And I do encourage you to post your questions online under the videos in the comment section or on the other social media channels, because this is the whole point behind this channel, is for you guys to interact with one another. Whatever I share today is my own take on things. You could have some other ideas that you want to share with these people. So I do encourage you to post your comments publicly. And if you're not comfortable disclosing who you are, you can always use aliases. There are no rules for this. But again, the whole benefit is for you guys to share this with others and for others to get back to you as well, so that you have as many opinions as possible. So again, please use the other channels of communication. That's it for now from my side. And before we wrap up today, I just want to point out to something that you might have already noticed. I started posting videos on Sundays. And the reason is because Saturdays are actually tending to be very, very, very busy for me for whatever reason. I don't know who gets busy on Saturday, but hey, there you go. I'm getting busy on Saturdays. So going forward, I'll be posting videos on Sundays. This has been working consistently for me. So before I committed to you guys a new date, I wanted to make sure that I can post these videos whenever I promise. So Sunday is our new day. And as a result, our next video will be on Sunday. So I'll see you next Sunday with a new video to discuss a new topic. Till then, you take care. And remember, if you're in doubt, I'm here to help you out.